What is up everybody, and welcome back to another Among Us video. And in this video, I'm going to be telling you why you should never play as Murray in Among Us. So in Among Us, I'm sure that you are aware about the King of Polis, also known as Murray, who is by far one of the most terrifying imposters to ever live. And well, I have some terrifying news for all of you. Murray is back. And well, during my encounter with Murray, I actually somehow managed to turn into him. And many of you may be confused right now, so make sure that you keep watching this video until the very end, because what ended up happening will shock all of you, so you won't want to miss this. And before we get any further into this video, I do want to mention that 70% of you have not hit that subscribe button, which means that you're missing out on Among Us Darkest Secrets. So why not solve that issue by hitting the subscribe button with the bell icon turned on, and dropping a like on this video if you do enjoy. But now, let's begin with today's story video. So while I was playing Among Us, I began to face some issues that many of you have never faced before. It was just a regular day and I got online to play a few matches of Among Us, and I joined a lobby where I had super speed. I have experienced something like this before, but I didn't think I was gonna have to deal with it again. I then spawned inside of the engine room, and I was trying my best to go to my task, but with this speed it was almost impossible. Luckily I managed to do my task in electrical, and it was a pain trying to get out, but then a body was reported. Crewmates in the chat were asking where the body was at as usual, but I was just wondering why we were so fast. Brown then told me that it was a mod, and it was my first game of Among Us, and I didn't expect myself to get on a lobby like this. We ended up skipping, but I couldn't help but wonder how the rest of the matches were gonna be. I wasn't gonna stay in this lobby for very long. It's too early to have to deal with this. I tried my best to complete my task, but it was really hard to navigate across the entire map since I had to deal with this speed. But then Black ended up taking me out and I was a ghost now. My body was then reported, and then I noticed that I was the last one that needed to complete a task before we could win. So now it's gonna be a race against time. It's me against the imposter, and only one can win. The crewmates ended up tying the vote, and this gave me time to do my task. I struggled for a bit to do my download, but luckily I managed to do it and we won the game. But I'm out of here. I was now looking for another lobby to join, and I decided to go with the one named Gentleman. Maybe this lobby is a little more normal, but I only lasted a few seconds before I got banned. That was so random. I didn't even say anything in the chat, but I'm gonna join another lobby. I didn't want to be with them anyways. I ended up joining another lobby that had a few players, and we ended up starting the game with only 4, which is a lot less than I'm used to, but it should be okay. I spawned inside of the brig, and Blue was being a little suspicious, so I went towards the right side. Hopefully he doesn't see me. In the armory I did a task, but then the lights turned off, and I began to hear the sounds of a creature, and it's coming from the left side. I was really scared because I was the only one in the armory, so I was by myself. But then the lights turned on and I did my task. Hopefully I can get out of here as soon as possible. I then went into the kitchen and I took out the trash, and I began to make a burger. But then the lights turned off again, and this time I could see the shadows of a creature. Who is that? But then the creature faded away, and I made a run for it. I'm gonna try to go to the other side of the map, but when the lights turned on I changed my mind. I need to go see who that was. So I made my way back towards the kitchen, and I looked inside and didn't see anything. So I went towards the viewing deck. I didn't see anything, but then a body was reported. I typed in the chat where, and Cyan told me that the body was in the main hall, and I told them that I was just making a burger. Blue was still alive, and they said that they were messing around with the platform. It had to be Blue. I was already suspecting him in the beginning. Cyan and Blue went back and forth, and Blue kept saying that he was messing around with the platform, and Cyan didn't see them. He kept saying that we had no proof, but that's something an imposter would say, so it's Blue. We ended up winning the game, but I left immediately. I wonder what that creature was doing in my lobby. He was just watching me. I ended up leaving and I found another lobby, and this is when things became a lot worse, as if they weren't already. I joined a lobby with only 2 players, and in this lobby there was a player with a familiar username, which was SCP. I have had a username like this before, but he had some random numbers at the end. I then opened up the chat and Pink was asking me if I was a real Chari. I was afraid to answer, so I didn't, and right under her message, the player with the strange username game left a mysterious message. The player said leave, something bad is happening in this lobby. But then Pink ended up kicking them out. And I asked him, why did you kick him? And she said, I don't know. I then closed the chat and a player by the name of Molten joined the lobby, which is the name of an imposter. The player was kicked out of the lobby and Pink just said no visor, which is the name of another imposter. Molten also left a pretty strange message. He just said leave me alone. It was now just me and this mysterious girl, and I didn't know what to do. So I decided to ask her a question. Sarf, do you know something I don't? Maybe she can explain what happened to me earlier. But she just responded with no visor. No visor. We will make you one of us. I was getting really scared because this girl was just creepy. But then I asked her another question. What about Murray? And she responded with no visor. I told her, I saw him earlier, are you working with him? And she said no visor. I have a strange feeling that this is not even a real player, and it's just some crewmate that is being controlled by no visor. I tried to get away from her, but she kept following me. We went back and forth for several minutes, and she kept going and going. There was no end to this. Even after Molten was kicked from the lobby, he somehow came back, which I found really strange, and Sarf continued to kick him out. Every player that joined the lobby she would just kick, and it would only be me and her. Molten would continue to join the lobby and get kicked, until eventually she set the room to private, and it was just me and her. I was honestly terrified, especially after the beginning, but something is telling me that Molten is trying to send me a message that Sarf doesn't want me to know. I'm gonna leave the lobby and go over to Polis. Maybe I can find Molten in his lava pool and get the response that I'm looking for. I was now looking for a lobby on the map of Polis, and luckily I found one. The moment the match started, I made my way over to the lava pool. I now need to drop the temperature, which is gonna take a long time, but I must have a talk with Molten. Maybe he can give me an answer on Murray, but dropping the temperature is gonna take a while. I was almost near the mark, but Cyan took me out. Now I have to restart all over again. Why doesn't the imposter want me to have a talk with Molten? I guess they're just protecting him. A meeting was then called, but I completely ignored it. And right after they were done talking, I went back to drop the temperature. I was now getting closer and closer, just like before, but my game crashed. I was now on the home screen. I'm just gonna go into a match of free play to prevent anyone from interrupting me. Let's hope I can get my answer. I joined the match of free play and that was Murray. I was in search for Molten, but I turned into Murray. Murray is the king of imposters, so he was the one that sent the imposter, so I wouldn't talk to Molten. Everyone listens to Murray. Since Molten wasn't here, I should probably check the hole, which is one of the locations that I have seen Murray on the map of Polis. I entered the laboratory and I stood next to the hole, and the ground began to shake, and Murray appeared. Looks like Murray made a return. Murray then went back inside his hole, and I made a run for it. But as I was leaving the office, my game froze, and Murray appeared again and took my player, just like Red. If you would like to know what happened next, let's see if we can get this video to 30,000 likes. I do also want to give a massive shout out to Lazy Doggo for helping me produce this video. If you would like to help out a smaller creator, make sure to go check out his channel and subscribe to him. And if you're new to this channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button with the bell icon turned on. And check out these other Among Us story videos that are found on my channel.